What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Greg Kampe Show. We are live at the Auburn Standard. We're in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Pontiac. In camp, we had to call an audible. They had a little bit of a pipe situation at Finnegan. So shout out to everybody here at the Crown Plaza, by the way, for stepping up and getting us set up in here. Julian, the owner here at the Crown Plaza, we appreciate it. Kevin's back there on the bar as well. But just a big thank you to everybody here at Crown Plaza for having us in. What's up, Camp?
This looks pretty good here.
Yes.
I like this place. This is cool. We used to keep recruits here. We need to start bringing them back here. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Camp, it's March Madness time. We're ready to go. Obviously, the senior day didn't end the way that we wanted it to at the arena.
But the fire alarm?
The fire? Like, literally, yes. That wasn't a good day, huh? With the ending and everything.
Actually, Neil, I don't remember what happened until the point that I took the mic after the game, and everything from that point on until the fire alarm went was great. I thought our senior day was good. I will say this, and I was going to ask some people, but since I got here late, how did everybody feel about that? Because it was a little different until Baru got out there. You know, we've had one-year guys, and we celebrate them every bit as much. I mean, you know, Kendrick Nunn was a one-year guy, right?
Right.
Although he was here two because he had to sit out a year at that time.
Way back in the olden days, yeah.
But to see four guys come out that were just one-year players, I wondered how the not reaction, but the what's the word? You're the journalist. What's the word I want?
The kids would call it vibes. How were the vibes?
I'm not a kid. Just how did you
feel
about it? Yeah, you know, did you feel the same on senior day as in? I mean, obviously, when you saw Baru's family up there, and you know what that kid went through, 3 years of being away from him, and you know, the mom just couldn't even make it to the 20-hour flight or whatever it is. You know, my heart went out to that kid at that time, and just the way he reacted and everything was just what we're about, right? But I just wonder. I mean, Brody Robinson had as good a year as we've ever had. I mean, I saw something where his numbers were the same as Felder's or
in the ballpark, yeah.
Yeah, in that same area. So that's unbelievable, the year he had. But did you feel the same way about it? You know, did you feel on senior day? You know, I had a couple come up to me on the floor. This was their 27th senior day. It's the only one they come to. Now, the guy did say they're coming to the game Wednesday because they want to support that. But and they showed me a picture of me with a little dude, and then the little dude was standing next to me about 6 inches taller than I was. But for 27 years, they've gotten a picture together. So that day is just a special day. And you know what happened during the game? I'm going to say this, and you can disagree with me. You can be mad at me. We played damn good basketball. We played a really good game. Nadu went nuts in the first half. He got 1-3 in the second half, which I compliment my players for being. But the kid made 9 straight shots, and sometimes you got to just tip your hat. You know, we've beaten the hell out of them for a lot of years, and they came into that game. They needed that game as bad as we did. And that kid made 9 straight shots in the last 7-8 minutes of the game. Sometimes you tip your hat to him and say, "Okay, I'm just damn glad it was a regular season game and not a tournament game." You know, I think. The second half of Milwaukee, the IU Indy game, and the Detroit game, we played really well. So I feel that, you know, we're going in the right direction in this. I don't like our matchup tomorrow. I don't like that matchup. That, you know, our games. You always say when we play Northern Kentucky, put 2 minutes on the clock, right? Because it's every time we play them, it's tied with 2 minutes to go.
No one ever takes a suggestion either. We could save a lot of time. Just make it a tie game, 2 minutes left, we'll play, and then everyone can go about their night, right?
That ought to tell you what people think of you.
Well, I'm used to it. I'm married, Camp, so I'm used to that, you know? Yeah.
But, you know, it's just such a rivalry, you know, to play that in an opening round. We played them at their place in the opening round a few years ago, and it didn't go very well for us. We're going to have to play a great game tomorrow, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I think Saturday was great, and would have been better if we'd have held on and won. You know, think how that game, we came back and we played really, really good. We got a 3-point lead. We had 2 empty possessions, and then the only 3 Nadu got in the second half with 1 second on the shot clock. He stepped through a trap and made it. I mean, and I was in line with it, and it was in as soon as it left his hand. It was, and sometimes you just got to give credit to people. And Detroit played a great game and won the game. And we don't like it, but it happened. So it is what it is. We're we still have a chance. If a 1, 2, or 3 seed gets upset, then we don't have to play on Sunday. If we win, then we go into the bye. So we still have a chance for that. We still have a opportunity to accomplish what we set out to accomplish. And the thing I like about us is we got 5 seniors. We got 5 guys playing, and their lives are on the line. And I think we're playing good. I really do. We ended the season with Saturday's game. We ended the season analytically the number 1 offense in the league. We have 5 seniors. Baru is playing the best basketball that he's played in his career, and he sees that it's almost over. And the aggressiveness that he played with Saturday, if we can get him to keep doing that, I think we're a tough out, man. I really do. I like our chances. I think we're playing really good right now. So we'll see.
Let's get caught up, too, with some of the news around the program as well. And I guess here in the house we have to start with it. Sloan Nelson with the big volleyball win. She came out today with Sam. So congratulations, Sloan, for the big volleyball win. I was told that happened. So congrats there. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Well, they did. So, Sam, Samantha? Yes. Her daughter, Sloan, is here tonight.
Oh.
Won their volleyball match and then came over here to celebrate with the Greg Kampe radio show.
Oh. I was thinking Oakland volleyball, and I was like, it's not even in season. What are you talking about?
Well, Samantha told her, said, we can go anywhere in the world. You want to get ice cream? We can get ice cream. She said, no, Mom, I want to go to the Greg Kampe radio show.
I'm sure
that's exactly what she said. I heard it, Cam. So
do we have any ice cream up there? Is there ice cream in here? Sam, if there is, order it. I'm paying for it. Okay? Order it. I'm serious. Yep. Order it for it.
There you go.
I got $2 in my pocket.
Some other news here today. The Horizon League Awards came out. Baru Neva-Larua named All Horizon League third-team performer. So big shout-out to Baru for that. And Cam, I mean, you just talked about it, playing his best basketball, coming down the stretch. And the one thing, Cam, that I talked about a lot with Baru, there was, a lot of expectations on Baru, and before we really knew what the roster was or who was here, I'm talking about from a media perspective, a lot was put on his shoulders, and I thought he did a tremendous job this year of just, because we talked about this team seems to be running at their best. 2 out of the 3 bigs are going to give it to you. It changes, night by night, matchup by matchup, and he was more than content to just kind of go with the flow as the season went all year.
Yeah, I blame me. For a lot of it. When Isaac got hurt, we really started emphasizing Baru touching the ball. And probably, if I had it to do over again, that would have been the emphasis early, too. Instead of, here we got these 2 new guys that can really score the ball. Let's spread the wealth. We got 5 guys averaging double figures. And I think Baru, his personality is to take a back seat. Baru's just a happy-go-lucky, hey, I'm going to play my tail off. I'm here. I'll give you whatever you want, Coach, which is very unique in this day and age. And I think that I should have done a better job. And once Isaac got hurt and we had to go to him, we've run more sets to him than we have all year in the last 3 or 4 games. And maybe that's why he's blossoming, and I didn't say that word right, but that's okay. And playing so well. And so that might be on me. That might be on me. And trust me, he's going to get the ball tomorrow. Now, they play a funky zone like we do. We're the 2 teams in the league that play that. And usually both of us have had great postseason success. And I think it has a lot to do with, the zone in postseason when every shot means something. If you look back at Syracuse, they were never that good during the regular season, but they were always Sweet 16s, Elite 8s,
right.
Because making shots in tournament time, it's a lot different when it's, lose or go home. So getting him the ball against their zone may be a little more difficult than it would be if it was man-to-man. But for us to win tomorrow, he's got to be who he's been the last couple weeks.
On the other side of that, all Horizon League first-team performer is Brody Robinson. And, Camp, look, I know you guys tried to get Brody a couple of times here to this program. Are you even a little surprised with the season that he had? Because, Camp, every time you look out there, just the way he would fly up and down the floor. And, like, I know you talked about, like, the stat comparisons with Kay and stuff like that, but you can't help but be reminded of the speed that he played at, the pace that he played at. He was incredible this year.
Yeah, and personally I was disappointed that he didn't get Player of the Year. And he didn't because we lost 5 of our last 7 games, and that's really what it was. Wright State won the league, but they didn't really have a dominant player. They were more, this game, this guy, this game, that guy, which is what makes a good team. And I thought, if we'd have finished second, if we'd have tied for first, if we'd have finished the season the way, we were 10-3.
Right.
And I think that probably has to do with the reason he didn't get it. First team, though, is pretty cool. And the thing about Brody that a few of the people in here know this because they've come by practice, he plays that hard in practice every day as he does in the games. And I will say this, I've coached, 200 and some kids. I've never played a guy or coached a guy that plays harder than him.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say he's the hardest because you can't make that statement, but I can't name a guy that's played harder than him and practiced that way too. I mean, if Smitty's always on me about get him out, give him a couple minutes, give him, he's not going to have it at the end because Kay Felder, Jalen Moore, all those guys played those many minutes. And when I have a point guard like he does, I'm not taking him out of the game. And maybe that's a flaw on my part, but I wanted to go to him some days and say, you really don't have to go this hard in practice. I didn't, but it's unbelievable how hard he plays, and he never, he's asked to come out twice all year. And I did have a conversation with him a couple weeks ago about, if you feel you're getting beat up and you feel tired, just tap your head and let me know. You come out, and when you want to go back in, I don't have to put you in. You just get up and go back in. And he's done that twice. So, the kid wants to play 38, 40 minutes. He plays. He never looks tired to me. I can't think of a mistake he's made because he was tired. Sometimes defensively you go, oh no, but it's because he's 5'1" or whatever he is.
I think he's a little taller than that, but no, I get you, Camp.
But that rebound he didn't get isn't because, he didn't do what he's supposed to do. He wasn't resting. He just, the guy's 6'7" and he's 5'10". Those are the only plays that I could see and look and say, oh, maybe I should have had him out. If we win this thing, he's going to have a lot to do with it, and he's going to have to play a lot of minutes.
And Camp, backing up to what you said, when we came down the stretch of games where he had played 37 of the 38 minutes, and it was time to ice the game, and he would be the one with the ball in his hand, so he gets fouled, a lot coming down the stretch. He elevated free throw shooting at that. It was the weirdest thing to me.
He missed one against Detroit that I was shocked.
And I was done too, right?
Yeah, I was shocked that he missed it. It would have cut it to 3 with 42 seconds to go. And when he went to the line, I said, he's going to cut it to 3. We're going to back up and we're going to get a stop. And then we'll have the ball with 10 to 12 seconds left, and we'll need a 3 to tie if we get the stop. And then he didn't make it. And I think part of that's the reason they got that layup. We trapped in the corner, and they got a layup, and it fairly ended the game. But everybody's going to miss one now and then. The guy's incredible. He's an incredible player, and everyone in this room is lucky that he finally came to Oakland, and we got to see him for a year.
No, he was a great dude, man. He really is a great dude, and he puts it all on his shoulders, Camp, all the time. I'll do it. Like he's like that constantly. He calls me Mr. Neal too all the time. That was I always thought that
Mr. what?
Mr. Neal. Hey, good. You okay, Mr. Neal? Yeah, Brody, I'm good, man.
He might have just gone down a couple spots in my.
I know. Right? I'm wearing glasses, getting called Mr. Neal, man. Camp, it's a wrap. It's definitely a wrap. If you want to get involved with the show, by the way, you can jump on X, use the hashtag AskCampy. You can send a tweet there. If you're watching on YouTube, on the Golden Grizzlies YouTube channel, you can drop a question for Camp in the YouTube comment thread as well. We're going to get to all of those. We have some questions about the season, about the travel, the new setup, next year, all of that stuff. And we'll get to them all. We definitely will. And, of course, we'll take a look ahead to the game tomorrow. Want to see everybody out at the arena. Go to goldengrizzlies.com, get the tickets. So, Camp, let's do this then. We'll take the first break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Director of Operations, Colin Shannon, here. We're live at the Auburn Standard inside the Crown Plaza Hotel. We'll be back with more of the Greg Kampe Show.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Auburn Standard. We're live inside the Crown Plaza Hotel, the Greg Kampe Show. Bobby Ellman back in our Odyssey studios as well. The Greg Kampe Show brought to you by the Henry Ford Sports Medicine, the official team physicians for Oakland University and you. For more info, visit henryford.com/athlete. My name is Neil Rule, the voice of the Golden Grizzlies. Right now, as promised, we are joined by Colin Shannon, the Director of Operations here for the Golden Grizzlies men's basketball program. Colin, I look forward to our chats. How you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. Coming down the stretch here. Excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's March Madness, man. It is time to go. But, Colin, one of the main reasons, and look, there's some Ask Colin questions on Twitter about the travel and all that kind of stuff. But one of the main reasons, Colin, that I wanted to have you on here, recently the men's basketball program announced the Laura Joseph Shannon Men's Basketball Student Manager Scholarship. It's in its inaugural year. It's an endowment created to honor your mother, of course, and Laura Shannon. She passed away from breast cancer after a 10-year battle in 2023. In the last year, a group of her friends and family, Oakland staff members and former Oakland managers have donated to establish the endowment. For everybody here right now, Colin, just kind of take us through that process. What led you to that?
You know, I'm not usually nervous doing this anymore because you've done it so much now, but because this means a lot to me. I'm nervous thinking about this. This has been years coming. I wanted to do an endowment for managers for a while. And when I was thinking about doing the endowment, there's a few questions I asked myself. And the first one is, was it worth doing? And not doing as the managers, do they deserve it? Because they clearly deserve it, right? You know, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, they do all the work. We know that's a given. But I'm going to be personally giving a lot of money. My family's going to be giving a lot of money. I'm going to be asking people to give. There's a ton of great things you can give to in this world. Is this one of them? Are managers better people? Is their life better because they're a manager at Oakland? And I had to ask that. And, you know, me and Kampe, we got an email about a month ago from a former manager who was a manager when I was manager, named Keenan. And he's been out of being a manager now for 6-7 years, worked in corporate America. And he sent an email saying to us that he just got a new job, his dream job, and that he had a 2-hour interview, and the only question they asked him about was his time as manager. They didn't care about anything before that. They only care about manager because he talked about the selfish nature of what managers do, how impacting a program and not caring about the glory. And I think that's pretty amazing how that can affect someone's life outcome being a manager here. And then we had the alumni night. And so, the diehards who could probably recognize someone from 20 years ago probably could tell who was out there. But they were all wearing the Oakland family shirts, and there were managers and there were players. And I saw a video or a recap of them walking out because we were in the huddle. And Pierre Dukes, who hit the shot to hit his NCAA tournament, changed the trajectory of the university, was walking with his arm around Carlando Haney, who was a manager, Coco, who was a manager of that team. And unless you knew who those guys were, you would have thought they were both players, same thing. They have the same ring. And if I asked myself, is it worth it to convince people to try to be a manager by giving them a scholarship? I would go out and look at them out there doing that. We have the managers who got it this year, our 2 seniors, Jake Masucci and Evan Blanchard. And I kept thinking about that. Jack Golke and Evan Blanchard have the exact same ring.
Right.
In 20 years, they'll walk out together. And then the other thing I asked myself is, what are we trying to accomplish with the scholarship? I think the first thing is we are trying to expand the access. So I was very, very lucky that I had 2 parents who prioritized their children and had good jobs and could help me with my tuition. But there's a lot of people who can't take an unpaid internship for 4 years and work, and so they can't chase their dreams as a basketball coach, or they can't try to be on the court. And that's not necessarily fair. So I want to expand access to everyone. So that's not an obstacle. And $1,000 for your senior year is not enough to do that. But 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I plan to have that bigger. So that is something that could expand that. And then the other thing I want is I hope that we look 40 years from now and that there are tons of managers from Oakland University who are working in college basketball. Indiana, I don't know if you know this, but Indiana is known for putting managers into coaching positions in college basketball. Dusty May was Indiana manager. There's maybe 4 or 5 head coaches in college basketball right now who started as a manager at Indiana. And I really think that's an amazing thing. That's something that I'd want at Oakland. And, my dream from this would be in 15 years someone tells me, I was thinking about going to Michigan State to be a manager, and I really want to be a coach, but I went to Oakland because I heard I'd get a scholarship. That's really the thing I would love to hear. And then the last part is, I'm doing this, but why am I naming after my mom? And my mom passed away, you said, from a 10-year battle with cancer. And she was a huge Oakland basketball fan. And not because I worked there, right? Because I was a huge Oakland basketball fan. And she would, every game, I'd drive, whether let's say a road game, I'd come home at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and it was breast cancer, but it spread to her back, so she had a hard time sleeping. And so she'd be up late. And so I'd come home 3 a.m. from Northern Kentucky or something, and she'd want to talk about everything that happened in the game. Why did Neil say this to Kampe in the halftime radio? Why did Jalen Moore yell at someone after the guy dropped the pass? Why, everything. And I think it's an interesting thing. I thought about that, about loss and grief, where my mom died in May, and so our next game wasn't until November or October, probably an exhibition. And I came home at midnight, 1 a.m., and I thought, wow. I cried a lot in the last few years, but that was maybe the most I cried, because I sat there wow, I'm not going to go in there and talk to my mom about Oakland basketball, And so my mom really loved Oakland basketball, and so I want to honor her for that. But my mom also was an incredibly hard worker, something that I would want to. My mom worked all through her time with cancer for 10 years. She worked a week up into her death. The day she died, she asked if she could get her laptop because she wanted to make sure she gets something done for work, so that she didn't let her work teammates down. And that she never complained about her diagnosis. She never had complained about having to work with her diagnosis. And that kind of work ethic and keeping her head down and doing stuff for the greater good is what I would expect out of a great manager. And so I think it's not only I'm naming it for my mom because she loved Oakland basketball and because I'm the one pushing us through, but because I think she's an example of how a manager should work. And the biggest reason is 'cause I really, really loved her. And all I did for 3 years was work and hang out with my mom. And I want to honor her forever. And the great thing about endowments, if anybody doesn't know how this works, they put the money into a fund, and then the interest from the stock market pays off the scholarship for forever. So I could be hit by a bus out there, not outside, and we will have this scholarship forever. It'll be Laura Joseph Shannon. And that'll be forever. And so that's the really most important part.
No, very well said, my friend. Very well said. As somebody, yeah, absolutely. And again, that's a Laura Joseph Shannon men's basketball student manager scholarship. So in the future, if you ever want to give to that scholarship, that is the name of it there. Obviously, you can go to the Oakland website. But again, for those that don't know, like Colin's my roommate on the road, and like I always say this, I eat Christmas dinner with Colin, not with my family, and Colin eats Christmas dinner with me and not his family, and like that's the program, right? Like you're usually working Thanksgiving, you're usually working Christmas, so you get to know everybody's story and stuff like that, and I know like towards the end of your mom's life, obviously, certainly that was a very, very tough time, but no, it's a great story. It's something great that you've done, and obviously I salute you for that, my friend. And then there's no easy way to segue to this. Are you ready for some Ask Colin on Twitter?
Ask Colin on Twitter would have made her very happy, so I think that's a good way to segue.
All right, absolutely. Non-surprisingly, the Real Gideon Beers on Twitter with hashtag Ask Colin. How does being in the Horizon League impact travel, planning, and scheduling?
I think that's probably a better question for Kampe. I appreciate Gideon asking it, but I've only ever worked in one league. So I think it's a better question for Kampe.
No, all right, you're punting on that one.
Yeah, sorry,
that's not how this works. Like you have to answer the questions eventually. Okay.
Sorry, Gideon.
All right, Gideon. We'll try this one then with Ask Colin. How does being? Oh, he did that one. Okay, I'm sorry. He sent that one.
He really wanted that one.
He really wanted that one answered.
Sorry, Gideon.
No, he absolutely did. Let me see here. I have one also from Ant. How does Northern Illinois coming into the Horizon League help the league? I'll give that one to Kampe, but we have one from Matt who enjoys Horizon League basketball that says, follow up for Colin. Does Colin or Kampe do the advanced scouting for the food in DeKalb, Illinois?
So I see the way like I do travel. Like I'm like a shooter, right? It's like Brett White.
Yeah.
The same form every single time. I'm not doing anything special, different. So I'm going to do the same plan. And do the same thing. So no, I think Kampe, we might have had a few spots, but I think last time we went to the cab we lost by 40 points. So I don't know if we'll do the same thing.
that is about right. No, all right. That leads to a great question there. Being around this program for a very long time, that's a real thing with this program. If we stay in a hotel and we lose, or we've stayed in the same hotel for a couple of times and we lose, it's time for you to find a new hotel, right?
They say that to me, and I'll get a new hotel, and then we just go back to the same hotel.
It's talked about at least,
It's
though.
talked about.
It's talked about. It's discussed. My favorite thing and this is kind of bad of me to say, but my favorite thing is when we walk in an airport at 2:45 a.m. for that 5:10 a.m. flight home from Orlando, and you just walk into the pressure cooker. For those that don't know, we have a travel party. There's, 22 of us, 25 of us?
Yeah,
something like that. This is the guy. So think about that. When we travel, we walk in the door ourselves. We're responsible for ourselves or our kids or whatever. He's got 22 kids that he's got to wrestle and wrangle and stuff like that. What's the hardest part about that?
Honestly, travel, and I know that's the question people ask, I think, and that's the most forward-facing part of my job. That is really the easiest part of my job. It's become more, automatic. And the airport's tough, because every single worker at the baggage has been trained differently, has a completely different way of doing it.
Yeah.
But, the hardest part of the job is not travel, but it's every day my phone blows up with everyone else's problems. New rules problems are my problems. My problems are not new rules problems.
Okay.
And so I would say that is, and I can never predict it. The texts I get of things people need solved, And so that's probably the thing that keeps me
the
up at
toughest
night.
thing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Colin, we certainly do appreciate you stopping by and sharing your story and the great work you did. Again, that's Laura Joseph Shannon, men's basketball student manager scholarship. Colin, thank you, man, for all the work that you do, and we appreciate you, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Colin Shannon, everybody. We'll be back with the Ask Kampe portion. If you want to get involved, jump on X with the hashtag Ask Kampe. The YouTube chat's lining up with questions as well. We'll be back with more of the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at the Auburn Standard inside the Crown Plaza Hotel.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Pontiac. Had a little bit of an issue there at Patti Finnegan, so big shout out to everybody here at the Crown Plaza Hotel for stepping up and hosting us. And this camp, how about this crowd too? At a different venue, probably bigger than even usual, right?
Well, they found it better than I found it, so
that is true. Big shout out to Julian, the owner here at the Crown Plaza.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. You ready for some Ask Kampe? They're all starting to fly in right now.
Let's go back to Colin on that one on the travel. It's a pain in the ass, and he's got a lot of years of doing it, but he does it as good as anybody. I'll tell you, it is not easy. COVID changed everything for me. I don't travel with them anymore.
Right.
You know, Smitty and I drive everywhere, and if we fly, I show up at the gate. I don't want to sit on a bus anymore. So when he says, ask me, no, because I'm not even there. He handles it. He handles it flawlessly. He does a tremendous job, just a tremendous job. And it isn't easy.
All right, let's rock and roll then. The Real Gideon Beers also. Looking back at the regular season, hashtag Ask Kampe, with all the injuries, how do you view the regular season and how it played out?
Well, I think the injury issue is, again, a little bit on me and a little bit on our government in that, because of what was going on in the world, a young man couldn't get his visa, and a guy that would be a really big part of our team ended up not being able to get here in September, which means he got here in December. Well, the NCAA rules, we probably could have appealed it and everything, but by the time the appeal went through and everything, we would have been into January and half the season would have been over. So we didn't do it. But that put a big hole in us. That when Nate went down and when Nassim went down, all of a sudden we're down to what we thought was going to be a 10-man roster, and that's another reason I didn't really push for that young man to be eligible. That hurt us. But we're healthy now. We're 8 deep. We have no excuses. Did it affect the season? Yes. We were 4-0 with the starting lineup we thought we were going to have. When Hogue came back for to start for the first time on the Montana trip. We won both those games. We came home and beat Fort Wayne. We beat Toledo, and that's when the scene went down. And so there are 365 teams, and I would think there's probably only, I don't know this, but I'm guessing there's only 50 or 60 that didn't have that happen, losing injuries. So it's not an excuse. It's on the coaches to be deep enough that you can handle. Northern Kentucky's a perfect example. A year or so ago, they were going to have this great team, and that point guard they had that was so good went down. And they, I never heard their coach make an excuse. They just battled themselves through the year. And that's what we've tried to do, not make any excuses, battle through the year, put out there our team. And, it was a little scary when we got down to, we were dressing 7 guys that had played. And the day that Coy's teeth went through his lip, I played him 3 minutes. I probably shouldn't have played him those 3 minutes, but we were really thinking 6 guys is what we were going to have. That was a little scary that night, but our guys handled it. One of the good things is we don't foul much. Right. That's part of our persona, who we are. We don't want to foul. And so we got through it. And it's no excuse. We were 10-3. We ended up 12-8. We shouldn't have. But I'm not going to make any excuses for injuries or anything like that. The season played out the way it played out. And now, as I've told them, and as I've said to you, and I think you believe this, we could win the league championship and lose on the opening night, and it's not a successful season. We didn't play well in February. If we win this tournament, nobody's going to remember that. They're just going to remember that we're going to the NCAA tournament. We're the champions. So it's out there in front of us. It starts tomorrow. No excuses. We're going to go play. And I like my players. I like our team. I've said that all year. I like our team. And I think we're playing pretty good right now. So I'm really anxious to get going.
With the hashtag AskCampe, Anthony Galena from the Alumni Affairs Department. PSA for alumni and fans, Monday and Tuesday, Oakland will have a pregame event in downtown Indianapolis. Stay tuned to the OU Alumni website and social media for more info. Go Grizz. That's Anthony's job, So.
Yeah, that's a little premature.
But it's his job, though.
Yes, so, it is his job. And he's here, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Pittsburgh Marty in the house as well. Thanks for everything this season, Coach. I appreciate the effort and the team and the staff has put forth. Now it's our time to shine. What are the 2 most important things this team has to do to win tomorrow? Sean and I will see you this summer.
I think there's 3 things that will determine if we win tomorrow. One is our transition defense. They're the fastest team in the league. They play at the fastest pace. The first half here of the game against Northern Kentucky, remember, Isaac didn't play in that game, but their best player didn't play either. L.J. Wells didn't play. And their point guard didn't play. At halftime, they had 30 points, and 27 of them were either transition or an offensive rebound. So we have to understand that we have to get back. We can't give them runouts, and we have to rebound the ball, which is an Achilles heel for us. We have not been a good rebounding team defensively. We're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league, but we are not a great defensive rebounding team. So rebounding, transition, defense. And then the third thing is you can't turn the ball over against them. And that's what they play for. They run through passing lanes. They double. Ball's going to go into Mike, Baru, and Isaac, and 3 guys are going to run in there and try and take it from them. We've got to make quick passes, and then we're going to get open shots out of that. We've got to make them. It's time to make them. If we don't make them, we're going to go home. So those 3 things are going to be probably the determining factor of the game.
James Schofield on the YouTube chat. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you can drop an Ask Kampe on there as well. James Schofield. The game was senior day this past weekend. Just curious, Camp, over all the seasons, does it ever get any easier saying goodbye to the seniors?
No, and I said on the court, and I honestly mean it, it's the greatest day of the year. To see those people, those young men have put everything into their lives in basketball. Most of them don't play again after that. Many of them, even if they do, I got a text today from Jalen Moore. It's tournament time. Oh, I miss it. That day is just so important to me and to our program, because I think we do it right, but I also think we put out really good people. And to know that they've worked their tails off for all of us in here, for our school, and for themselves, it's a hard day, but it's an enjoyable day. And to see the emotion on their faces. I mean, you remember Trey Townsend's out there. You go back to Kendrick Nunn was here 1 year, and he had his kid out there, and he was, tears in his eyes, and just they're appreciative of what we and you people are. I mean, we'd lost 3 or 4 games in a row at home, and the place was sold out. Again. And don't think that isn't noticed. Don't think that they don't cherish that and understand that. And a lot of that goes on our staff, the people that work at Oakland that work so hard to make that game experience so special and work so hard to get those stands full. But our kids understand that. They're appreciative. And so senior day is just the best. It's the best. And I asked that question at the beginning because I wondered what people felt, because that's the way the game's going, and I think we're going to see more of it. I'm hoping that it gets changed. I'm hoping that they go to just one transfer, and that might happen, but we'll see. No, absolutely. And just to echo Camp sentiments, it's special because of you guys, like all the energy you guys put into it. Like you come to the game, you pay for your ticket, and you come in, and you guys are active participants in it. And that's not normal. We travel around tons of places. It's not normal. I think in a way it hurts us a little bit because most of those people, they're used to playing in these big barns with nobody there. And they come into the little arena and the noise and the excitement. And they get all hyped up, Yeah, getting yelled at and called names and that I think you saw Lovejoy walk around that after the game. You saw him walking around. And I think a lot of people would have liked to, but you know what I'm saying. No, I get where you're driving at, Camp. We do that to teams, and it is what it is. It's what makes us so special. Oakland Golden Grizzlies fan club on the YouTube chat. Camp, we used to see Big Ten referees work in Horizon League games, and we saw the same group of refs at the arena year after year. This year we see refs we've never seen before. What changed with the officials? Well, I think that, they had a new regime in the Big Ten office. We are part of the Big Ten consortium, and we do still. There are guys out there. The 2 of the 3 guys that were there against Detroit do Big Ten games. We have not. We've seen a couple high-profile guys at our games this year at the arena, but it's still pretty much the same. I just think they're turning referees over, and I don't think it is as different as it looks. We have seen a lot of new guys this year, though, but, referees move on and new guys have to be brought up. So I think we see a lot of that, especially on Saturday. Remember on Saturdays, there's 145 games played. Times 3 officials. So on a Friday or a Sunday or a Thursday, there aren't that many games played. So you're going to see there's no high-level Big Ten official that's going to be in the arena on a Saturday. Or many places. So it is what it is, and I'm getting a little more mellow about it as time goes on. And then also, too, from Oakland Golden Grizzlies fan club, where do I get Colin's T-shirt that he was wearing? People want to know that one, too. What do you got on? The hits? Oh, you wore it? That's kind of our slogan. We're not rebounding very well. So we've got to get more physical. And so when a shot goes up, we got to hit people, right? Right. And so just that T-shirt they got today is just a reminder. I didn't know Colin was going to wear it out in public, but Colin can do whatever he wants. That is true. Here's how that worked. Colin, I want that T-shirt. By when? Before the game Wednesday. This was last week, right? Yep. They got it. There you go. Absolutely. Camp, I did want to run this one by you. I'm sure you've seen this, the Sun Belt Conference tournament bracket. So for those that don't know, they take their 1 seed and their 2 seed, and they place them in the semifinals. And then the 3 and 4 seed get a bye to the quarterfinal. And then the 2 before that get a bye to the 4th round. The 2 before that get a bye to the 3rd round. I don't like it. Don't like it. Remember Kay Felder's last year? We played at 11 o'clock at night in because a double overtime game before us. We played our first tournament game at 11 o'clock at night, and when we played, there were only 3 teams left in the tournament. And Wright State beat us, and they had played 2 other games. And we were experiencing the pressure that is on these young men when you're in a one-bid league. To play your first game against a team that had played 2, that had already got on a roll, was winning, and we lost at the buzzer. But we played at 11 o'clock at night, and there were only 3 of the 10 teams weren't left, and I didn't like that at all. So I was very vocal about, let's get back to a normal, you got to win 3 games to win a tournament, and our league's done that, and I think all the coaches in our league agree with that.
Yeah, the winner of the Sun Belt Conference tournament, if it's the people that play in Game 1, a 12 seed, they will have played 7 games in 7 days.
Yeah, I don't. What they're trying to do is they're trying to put their best team in the tournament. Right. I'm not sure it works out that way, though.
What about the Horizon League format?
You like it? Voted yes for it. I mean, next year it's a little better next year in that we'll have 12 teams next year. And so 6 teams will go to Indy. 1 and 2 will get the bye instead of 1, 2, and 3. So there'll be 2 games on Sunday, 2 games on Monday, 1 game on Tuesday. So it'll be a little bit better. But with 11 teams, it was the best way to do it. I really like it. And I like that we reseed it. I like that we still have a chance if we can win tomorrow and somebody seated below us loses, that we drop into the bye. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Also, speaking of tomorrow as well, the Golden Grizzlies women's team will be at Cleveland State. That's a 7 o'clock tip as well. Golden Grizzlies coming in as the 8 seed. Cleveland State coming in as the 3 seed there.
Don't count them out. She can coach, man. Don't count them out.
No question about it. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one as the night rolls on. Anything else, Camp? As you looked at the conference tournament bracket,
that's all the questions.
Yeah, we got through them today.
Quickly.
You were efficient. You had efficiency today.
Not very often.
All right, let's do this then. Let's take the last break. So Bobby Ellman, we keep Bobby Ellman happy back at the Odyssey compound. So we'll be back with the final segment of the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at the Auburn Standard in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Pontiac.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room. 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
Standard here in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Pontiac. This is a Greg Kampe Show. He is a coach, Greg Kampe. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you all out here with us tonight, sticking by us with the change-up there and the change-up in venues. We appreciate you pulling off. Big thank you to Julian, the owner of the Crown Plaza Hotel, Kevin, the bartender, as well. Everybody that's out here taking care of everyone. Thank you guys for hosting us, no doubt about it. Well, Camp, it's March Madness. It is here. It's the Golden Grizzlies. It's Northern Kentucky tomorrow at the arena. Love to see everybody get out there for that. And, Camp, you know how this works, man. Somebody's season's ending tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's...
Were you going to answer the question, Camp, or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I like our chances, as I've said many times. Northern Kentucky's a really good team, a very talented team. They got guys that can get it going, just like we saw the kid from Detroit get it going. We've got to stop that. We've got to defend. We've got to rebound. As I said earlier, those are the three things that we have to do to win the game. I like our attitude. Our practices this week have been great. They understand what's ahead of them, and we brought these kids here for this, and we've been working since June 30th for it. And so I'm going to be really excited to see how we perform.
We saw last night, too, the opening round game of the Horizon League tournament. Cleveland State got the win over IU Indianapolis, so they will play the number 1 seed, Wright State. Number 2 seed is Robert Morris. They're hosting Youngstown State. Detroit Mercy is hosting Milwaukee. Some news broke from the Milwaukee program last night. Aguilar, I believe it was a broken ankle. He will be out for the rest of the season for Milwaukee. I mean, Bart went through it this year.
Yeah, you can talk about our injuries, but they've lost. They lost Lovelace before the season started. Then a guy that nobody here had seen yet, he played at Toledo a year ago, was their leading scorer. They lost him probably 7 games in. Then their the big kid inside, they lost. Fields, they lost, and now this guy. So I think Fields might play, though, in the tournament. So, I feel bad for him, but, it reminded me of Kendrick Nunn's senior year when we lost, 3 starters and 5 of our top 8 guys. So it happens in this game, and you just move forward. And I wouldn't be shocked if they went in there and won. I mean, it's time you never know who's going to play great in these things. A few years back, there was a team that was the 10th seed that got all the way to the championship game, and that was Milwaukee, in fact.
Yes.
So you never know what's going to happen in these tournament games. Every possession's important. And, as I told our guys, we have to control the controllables, right? I know that's coach speak, but there's a reason there is coach speak, because it is so important. And you have to control the controllables. And what can we control? We can control how hard we play. We can control hitting people when the shot goes up. We can control when a set is called, actually executing it and remembering it, which we've had some trouble with lately. We can control there's a loose ball late in the game and not letting some little guy outrun us to it.
Right.
The
want to stuff.
Yeah, we can control those things. So you got to control the controllables. And most importantly, you got to move on to the next play. You have to have next play mentality at tournament time. You can't sulk. You can't pout. You can't change what happened. You can only get ready and make the next play, because the next play is going to be very important.
Camp, since we talked about it, and we're talking about the tournament bracket and things like that, and I forgot to bring Ant's question in, but I'll roll this into this. Next year, Northern Illinois comes into the Horizon League. You said we moved to 12 teams. How do you anticipate that impacting the tournament? When do those discussions happen? And really, how does that help the league, I guess, is the question.
Well, that was Ant texted me that he was going to ask this question, and I think an even number's the best. So getting to 12, 10 or 12, you don't want to be at 11 because of the scheduling issues.
Right.
And so the schedule next year is going to be a little bit better. There's not going to be the bye week. There's not going to be, go 8 days and not play a game or whatever. So that's really helpful. The second thing that helps, it makes the tournament more even, right? There isn't that one game on Sunday now. There'll be 2, and it gives 6 teams a chance to get a home court game, which makes it, it's a little easier, right? If it's 6, whoever the 6th place, Fort Wayne would have a home game this year. So that's good. The one thing that I might not like about it is if you've ever been to Northern Illinois, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough trip for us. It's probably a bus trip, but it is, it's an hour or 40 minutes north of Chicago. And
hour's probably more close to right. Yeah.
On a bus, it's going to be, an hour. I don't go on the bus, though. So so we may, that may be a charter. That might cost us, a lot more money because we charter to anything over 5 hours. I try and charter to. But, so that could be a little more costly. But they have, Northern Illinois has got a name. I mean, it's mostly been in football. Their basketball has not. It's been a few years since they've, been known basketball-wise. But they do have a name. I think it helps us in the Chicago area in recruiting now. If I'm recruiting a Chicago kid, I can say, you're going to get to see him play there. And there's a lot of good about it. But for me, the best part about it is it evens it up and it really makes the schedule better. The league schedule was voted on and approved. It hasn't been announced yet because now they've got to worry about it's got to go to ESPN, and ESPN's got to maybe move some dates because these are your dates that your national TV games are going to be on. And they don't pick the teams. ESPN holds it until like a month before the game because they want what they think are going to get the most people to watch. So everybody might have to move a Thursday to a Friday to a Saturday to a Sunday. That part of it's not done yet, so it won't get released until September. But we've got an idea of what it looks like, and it's the best league schedule I've seen in many, many years, the most equitable. Now, one thing that will cause some angst is that there's 2 teams you're not going to play twice. Everybody will have 2 teams you're not going to play twice. So let's pick a team.
Cleveland State.
Let's say Cleveland State's the preseason pick to win it next year. And we play them twice, and Wright State only plays them once. Then you're going to be like, oh, wow, well, that's not fair.
It's kind of inequitable.
Right, that's not fair, right? But we're doing this because we don't want to play 22 league games. We have to play those non-league games for net, for tournament seeding, for finances. We have to play those games, right? So it's going to take a little bit away from the championship. But Big Ten doesn't play. There's no Power 5 team.
Yeah, we're past that point now,
right? No Power 5 team. Now, there isn't one Power 5 conference out there that plays everybody twice. And yet Michigan's going to win the Big Ten, and nobody's saying, well, you didn't play them twice.
Right.
Next year, it'll be a complaint. A lot of coaches will bitch about it. But in 4 years, no, it's just going to be a way of life. Our tournament's going to be better because of it, and our schedule's going to be better because of it. So it's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Camp has a coaching staff, because I've noticed this as you get into the conference tournaments. How do you protect? I guess, when does it become a normal game? Because at some point it becomes a normal game. It's not a normal game in the warm-ups. It's because people are hype and they're excited and stuff like that. When does all the circumstance eliminate itself and it's just a regular game?
I don't think it does. To be honest with you, I don't think it does. I mean, you get into the last 3 minutes of the Detroit game, but you knew we were playing Wednesday, right? We're not playing Wednesday if it goes that way. If we lose tomorrow night, we're not playing again. This group of young men will never be together again. And that wears on them. They know that. The coaching staff knows that. I made a mistake in the game. All right? I made a mistake with a referee in that game. I knew that Brody it wasn't a flagrant foul on him. Okay? And I went up to the guy and I said, he hit him in the face. That's a flagrant one, right? He goes, I don't think he did. But I was mad that they were being over physical with him and he wasn't getting the calls I thought he should be getting. So I did that, right? And he goes, well, do you want me to go look? And I go, what did you think it was? He goes, well, I can look. And I go, well, go look. Well, I lost the timeout because he went and looked. If I knew that referee better, he would have said, I don't think it is. And I was just trying to get him to, hey, you got to, I said on the one, I said to him, can you call the foul? You called it on us, but he got fouled before that. He goes, yeah, he did, but I can't change it. Right? So now later on, this happens, and I was just trying to make a point. And he took a timeout that we needed at the end. And that won't happen on Wednesday. I was just trying to prove a point. Plus, I didn't think he'd charge us a timeout for it because the way my verbalization with him. But he got me.
There you go.
He got me.
Well, that will do it for tonight's episode. Again, just a big, big thank you to everybody here at the Crowne Plaza Hotel for riding with us here. Big thanks to Nick and everybody, the Knicks, and for getting this all set up. And all of you for rolling out. You guys mobile. It's March Madness time, everybody.
We're going to do this again.
And I was driving at that. This won't be the last.
When we win the conference tournament, Selection Sunday will be Monday, and if we're playing in the NCAA tournament, we will have this, unless we're in the play-in game, which I don't think would happen, but you never know. Not the play-in, but the opening round on Tuesday or Wednesday. If we're in the opening round games on Tuesday or Wednesday, then obviously we can't do this. But if we're not, and we're playing somewhere, we'll do this.
We'll be back at it, everybody. So we will see you then. We'll see you at the O Arena tomorrow. Golden Grizzlies, NKU, the Horizon League tournament. For the coach, Greg Kampe, Bobby Ellman back in our studios. My name is Neil Rule. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening, everybody. Well, see you later. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it.